Though I may not have talked about the original film of this from 1969, which I've only seen one time, but this one I've seen several times. So fasten your seatbelts as I talk about The Italian Job from 2003, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2003 heist action flick, The Italian Job, released by Paramount, directed by F. Gary Gray, and starring an ensemble cast consisting of Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, Edward Norton, Jason Statham, Seth Green, Mos Def, and Donald Sutherland. It's an American remake of the British film from 1969 of the same name, but with an original story. The plot follows a motley crew of thieves who plan to steal gold from a former associate who double-crossed them. Despite the shared title, the plot and characters of this film differ from its source material. Gray described the film as an homage to the original. Now, this isn't the first time F. Gary Grace directed a film. He had recently directed films including Friday and The Negotiator and Set It Off. And of course, he'd also gone on to direct films including Straight Outta Compton and The Fate of the Furious. Well, if you're ready, let's get started with our story. Professional safecracker John Bridger's team had plans to steal $35 million worth of gold bullion from a safe in Venice from Italian gangsters who had stolen it weeks earlier. Professional fixer Charlie Croker, computer expert Lyle, or Napster, wheelman Handsome Rob, inside man Steve, and explosives expert Lefty comprised the team. Although the heist is successful, Steve double crosses them as they drive towards Austria with the bullion. With another crew, he takes it for himself and kills John. Rob drives the van over the bridge into the water to protect the others, using air tanks from the heist to stay alive. Steve leaves them for dead. A year later in Philadelphia, Charlie finds Steve under a new identity, is laundering the gold through Ukrainian jeweler Yevhen to finance his lavish lifestyle in Los Angeles. Charlie gathers a team and also recruits John's daughter Stella, a skilled private safe expert, offering her the chance to avenge her father's death. They stake out Steve's mansion, and Stella, disguised as a cable technician, maps out its interior and determines the location of Steve's safe containing the bullion. Unaware of Stella's identity, Steve asks her out on a date. The plan is to blow the safe while Steve is away on his supposed date, using three heavily modified Mini Coopers to transport the gold out of the mansion. Supplier Skinny Pete gets the explosives, and Mechanic Wrench modifies the cars. On Steve's last visit to Yevhen, Yevhen accidentally reveals that he knows about the Venice heist. To cover his tracks, Steve kills him. Mashkov, the leader of a Ukrainian crime family and Yevhen's cousin, traces the gold back to Skinny Pete via Yevhen's ex-employee Vance. On the night of the planned heist, the crew discovers that Steve's neighbors are having a party, so they have to abort, as the explosives would draw attention. Stella still has to meet Steve, but inadvertently gives away her identity by using her dad's catchphrase. The team arrives to protect her, and Steve taunts them as he says he still has the upper hand. Steve plans to transport the gold to Mexico City by armored car to a private plane from LAX, which Napster hears through his tap on his phone. Charlie and his gang make a new plan to steal the gold en route to the airport by hijacking the city's traffic control system, forcing the armored car to a planned spot where they will execute the heist. On the day, they are surprised when three armored trucks leave Steve's mansion. But Napster determines which one carries the bullion. and manipulates the traffic accordingly. As Steve is monitoring the transport by helicopter, they maneuver the car to the target spot and detonate explosives to drop the part of the gold with the car. The road with the car, into the subway tunnel below. Opening the truck, they find the gold is a different safe from the one that held it before. Struggling initially, Stella cracks it open and they divide the $27 million in gold among the three Coopers. They race from the subway to the Los Angeles River and through the city, pursued by Steve's henchmen on motorcycles, with Napster creating a green wave to evade traffic. Now I'm going for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Stella, Handsome Rob, and Lafayette head to Union Station while Charlie lures Steve away in his helicopter. Steve tries to kill him by having his helicopter pilot destroy Charlie's Mini Cooper, but the helicopter's tail rotor is damaged, grounding it. Steve carjacks a Ford Bronco to follow Charlie to Union Station, where the cars are loaded onto a train car with the help of Wrench. He tries to bribe Wrench to let him in, but finds Charlie and the others waiting. When Steve pulls a gun, demanding the gold back, Mashkov and his armed men disarm him. Charlie explains that he has offered Mashkov part of the gold, and Steve, in exchange for helping with security protection, is implied that Skinny Pete put him in touch. Stella punches Steve in the face as revenge. Mashkov then takes him away, implying he intends not to kill him, but rather torture him for killing Yevon. The group boards the train as it departs to New Orleans and celebrate in John's honor. The team uses their share of gold for their own desired purposes. Handsome Rob purchases an Aston Martin Vanquish, getting pulled over by a beautiful policewoman. Leftier buys a mansion in Andalusia with a room for his shoe collection. Napster buys a powerful stereo capable of blowing a woman's clothes off. Ooh. And Charlie takes John's advice about finding someone he wants to spend the rest of his life with, and he and Stella travel to Venice together. End of story. So, what did I think of The Italian Job? Well, I gotta say, it is a fun movie, and it's really action packed, and I loved it. It did pretty well. Now, the film made 176 million worldwide as it was released on May 30th, 2003. Now, which is why I'm doing its review early, despite I was going to do it on the day it came out, but due to an unfortunate turn of events, I have to postpone what I was going to do tonight to another day. Well, I think you get the point. Anyway, the response for this was largely positive, with publications comparing favorably to the original film while highlighting the action sequences. Yes, I have to agree. Anyway, now with it's currently being at 73% on Rotten Tomatoes, they say despite some iffy plot elements, the film succeeds in delivering an entertaining modern take on the original 1969 heist film, thanks to a charismatic cast. Sure, the story's got a few plot's got a few element issues, but nonetheless, I still think it was pretty fun and what have you. The story's not too bad. But anyway, its action is just so awesome. Well, another good response here was from the BBC, and they say that this film's revenge plot adds wall lacking in the original. Let's see. Roger Ebert gave it a good review, saying that this was 2 hours of mindless escapism on a relatively skilled professional level. I have to agree. Very good. It's got lots of other good ones too. So anyway, I don't want to give too much. Now, as for our cast, we have Mark Wahlberg playing Charlie. He was very good. Charlize Theron played Stella, also very good. Edward Norton plays Steve, who of course would be the bad guy. Donald Sutherland plays John, whom we sadly lost 20, almost 22 minutes into this movie. A wee slight spoiler. Just telling you how much time we had. Jason Statham plays Handsome Robin. He was pretty good since this was just right about when he was actually making it big, especially after doing the Transporter. Seth Green plays Lyle, and I gotta say he did very good on that character. And let's see, and finally, rapper, singer, songwriter, and actor Mos Def plays Left Ear, and well, his real name's Gilligan, and Frankie G plays Wrench. Excuse me, I almost got them mixed up. Yeah, but anyway, they were all really good and what have you. So the cast was really good. Let's see, John Powell does the score for the film, and it's good too. You get to hear some classic tunes and what have you, including an updated cover of Money, done by the group that we would know as Velvet Revolver, which consisted of the late Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots, plus various members of Guns N' Roses. Anyway, yeah. Now after this, there was to be a sequel to this called The Brazilian Job, but unfortunately, it got canceled subsequently. So it may not see the light of day. But anyway, the Italian Job, it had some good action, what have you, especially like those the chasings with the Mini Coopers and what have you. Those were awesome, really good. I mean, as much as I like the Fast and the Furious franchise, but I think the Italian Job definitely just took the cake. I mean, even though the second Fast and the Furious movie came out the same year. But anyway, but nevertheless, I think it's good. It's got some good action sequences. The story is not too bad. It has a great cast, a good score, everything. So overall, would I recommend The Italian Job? The answer is hell yeah. Definitely give it a watch. Now I think you'll really like it if you haven't seen it yet. And if you have seen the original, then good. I'll just have to watch it another day, and maybe mind you, I might review it in the future. We'll see. So anyway, what did you think of The Italian Job? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Cliffhanger with old Sly himself. So I do hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, check out my reviews for these other films. And since I brought up the Fast and the Furious, might as well go ahead and give them to you. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of probably my favorite of the franchise, and that would be Furious 7. Best of the franchise. The upper right-hand corner is one of the films I was talking about that F. Gary Gray directed, The Fate of the Furious, the 8th installment. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my spoiler-free review of the brand new installment of the franchise, Fast X. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.